Hey folks, Star Trek movies, my least favorite to my favorite. All 13 are reviewed here. I like some more than others. I like most of them more than others, to be honest with you. I'm a big Star Trek fan. I've always been a Star Trek fan since the original series. I saw my first episode of that when I was 9 years old, when it was here on Irish TV on syndication. But enough about the TV show. We'll get into the movies. And at number 13, we have Star Trek Nemesis. Tom Hardy, before he was Bane, was a clone of Jean-Luc Picard. This didn't work for me. I didn't like this movie. It has moments in it. It looks great. The effects are good in it, but all in all, I don't think it works for me because the Romulan Empire in this are really portrayed as a weak race. When all the times we've seen them before on the Next Generation and in the original series, they were a warfaring race, and not to be messed with. But here they come across weak and on a small scale, really. Also, they really kind of hijack Data here. The death of Data sacrificing himself and then downloading his memories into another android that looks exactly like Data. That didn't work for me either. It has its moments, but it's not one of my favorites. At number 12, we have Star Trek Insurrection. The only thing I can say about this, guys, is it's just an episode filler. If you know what I mean. If you watch The Next Generation, there was filler episodes here. And this was a big scale movie, but it was just an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. It's all about the fountain of youth, if you will, and people on this planet can't grow old, and there's another race vying for the secret and trying to get them off the planet and move them. It's okay, it's not a bad movie, it's not a good movie, it's just there. And that's why it's down at number 12. So that's Star Trek Insurrection. At number 11, we have Star Trek Into Darkness. After a great start in 2009, I think they dropped the ball here, really. Bringing the Khan character back here with Benedict Cumberbatch really doesn't work for me. There's only one Khan, really, isn't there? Ricardo Montalban. But this is also weak in the fact that they kind of copied the scene at the end of the Wrath of Khan, and they reversed it with Kirk inside in the chamber and Spock outside. The reason why that works in the Wrath of Khan is because we've seen the relationship of Kirk and Spock over the years in the TV show and in the movie, the motion picture. In Star Trek 2009, they don't really like each other. They barely get on, and now we're expected to see that they really care about each other and love each other, and there's some weight behind Jim Kirk's sacrifice and Spock. It just doesn't work for me. I thought it was a complete misfire here, and that's why it's down at number 12. Star Trek Into Darkness, number 11, sorry. Number 10, we have Star Trek Beyond. This looks great, it looks great. Idris Elba is the baddie in this. He's hidden behind the makeup. You don't know it's Idris Elba. A kind of a waste of a great actor there. This is fast and loud. That's all I can describe this. It's fast and loud. It looks great. It's not offensive. It's just there again. And, it didn't really blow my mind. I thought it was just, villain of the week, fighting, action sequences, run of the mill. Not really Star Trek for me. I think Star Trek can be more cerebral, and if you got to think about it. But this is just fast and loud. At number 9, we have Star Trek The Final Frontier. Star Trek 5. William Shatner was up against it here. There was a writer's strike when this film was made, and also he was promised a massive budget for special effects, which was cut drastically. So they had to do with what they had in the budget wise, and I think the film suffers for it. I like the movie. I really do like the movie. I don't think it deserves the crap it gets from most fans. I think Shatner did the best he could here with what he had to work with. I like the whole searching for God, and I like the character Cyborg, Spock's brother. I really like him in it, and Lawrence Luckenbill, the actor that played him, was fantastic. It has some great moments in it, but it does look a bit on the cheap side, which is a shame, really. I'd love to see the film what it could have been with the proper budget and not a writer's strike going on in the middle of it. Okay, if you excuse me there, I have some notes made out. At number 8, yes, we have Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. I like this movie. It's great. It's got Christopher Lloyd, Doc Brown here. as fantastic villain as a Klingon. Really plays him well, really menacing character, and it shows off the Klingons great here. The only problem I have with this movie, it was directed by Leonard Nimoy, but the only problem I have with this movie, I really like the movie. It just looks small and cheap in scale. It's just, the budget must have been really cut for this. But after Star Trek the Motion Picture and Star Trek II The Wrath of Khan, this looks on the cheap side to me, harking back to the days of the original series. But yeah, it's a good movie. I like it. I go back to it, as I said. And we have the famous scene where Kirk sacrifices the Enterprise here, and that countdown with the Klingons inside. Great stuff. Really great to watch those scenes play out. But again, it's just small in scale for me. At number 7, we have Star Trek The Motion Picture. Overlong scenes of the Enterprise, but the Enterprise looks absolutely fantastic. We've never seen the Enterprise look so well here, really, in fairness. Directed by Robert Wise. I like the whole Voyager story, and I like the new characters that were added, Ilea and Captain Decker here, and the fact that Kirk wants to get the Enterprise back. That's a great dynamic. It really works for me. The film is overly long and drawn out in places, but I do like the story, and I like those new additional characters here. I think they work very well indeed. Okay, number 6, we have Star Trek Generations. This gets a lot of hate from the fans, but really, it gets Picard and Kirk on the same screen here. What's not to like about that? The story about the Nexus, it's okay, it's fine, you know what I mean? But Malcolm McDowell here is really, really good in the role here as the villain in this piece. It works for me. It really does. And William Shatner, as always, as Captain James T. Kirk, is very likeable on screen. He plays that role so well in Picard with him. Fantastic. Really to see them both on the screen for that. So that's number 6. At number 5, we have Star Trek 2009, J.J. Abrams' big return for Star Trek here, and recasting the original cast. And what a great job he did here. And the cast are absolutely fantastic. And also the secondary cast here are given a lot more to do than the original members of Star Trek were ever allowed to do on the screen. Really brilliant. Zoe Saldana here as Uhura, fantastic. Anton Yelchin as Chekhov, sadly, a big loss when he passed away. Simon Pegg as Scotty, brilliant, really great. And of course, Bones in this film is a standout. It really is played brilliantly. It was a great return to the big screen for this outing, and the Enterprise looks fantastic here. It really does. Really looks great. I like the story, and Leonard Nimoy's in it, and there's a bit of time travel going on in it. It's got a bit of everything, a bit of action, and it just works for me. And that's at number 5, Star Trek 2009. Okay, at number 4, if you'll excuse me, we have my notes here. Yes, we have Star Trek First Contact, the Borg. Yes, the Borg are fantastic in this. A great time travel story as well, all the way back to the first flight of Zefram Cochrane, creating the first warp speed flight, and the Borg want to go back and change all that. Brilliant, really good, very well directed by Jonathan Frakes here, Captain William Riker, or Commander Riker. Really good, all the cast are on great form here. It's a fun film, and the addition of the Borg Queen here with played by Alice Krieg was a fantastic addition. She really is menacing in this, and it really is a very, very good movie and most enjoyable. One of my favourite Star Trek movies. At number 3, we have Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. I really love this movie. It's fantastic. It's got a murder mystery going on here. The fall of the Klingon Empire. They're at their knees asking for the Federation for help. And of course, events ensure, and we have a kind of a whodunit, as I said, a murder going on, and who's to blame. Kirk and Bones here are fantastic in this movie, as is Leonard Nimoy on board the Enterprise trying to solve the mystery here. And General Chang, really, really fantastic here, played by Christopher Plummer. What a performance here. He's really menacing as well, and adds a whole new depth to this story. So that's Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. Number 2, we have Star Trek The Voyage Home, the one about the whales. Of course it is. This has got everything. It's got comedy, it's got time travel. It really is very, very good movie. And I mean, it's up there because, you don't have to be a Star Trek fan to enjoy Star Trek 4, The Undiscovered Country. You really don't. It's just a great story. It's got action, it's got comedy. The effects are great in it for their time, As I said, it's the one about the whales. It's got a story that people can invest in, and it had a message as well back then, but it wasn't preachy. Like new Star Trek is, these new Discovery and Picard shows are very, very woke and very preachy. Star Trek 4 had a message about, about the Earth, and it's not preachy. It was done subtly, and it works for me. Okay, at number one, I think there's no surprise here in the number one Star Trek movie, my favorite Star Trek movie. It has to be Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. This was a sequel to an episode of the original show called Space Seed. So if you haven't seen Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, go back and watch Space Seed, the episode from the original show, and it'll make a lot more sense to you indeed. That episode is fantastic. Ricardo Montalban was in that, and he reprises his role here as Khan, and he is absolutely outstanding here, as are all the cast here. William Shatner's James T. Kirk in this is absolutely fantastic, and Leonard Nimoy, Spock, and Bones. All the cast are fantastic here, and it's got such, it's got such weight. This story, it really has. It's revenge. It's Moby Dick. It's got a revenge story. Khan wants revenge on Kirk, and he'll go all odds to seek his revenge on the captain that marooned him on the planet a few years before that. So that's my top Star Trek movies, my least favorite to my favorite. I'd like to hear your list and what are your favorites are. Do you like it? Do you like these movies? Do you watch these movies? Do you go back to them, and which ones do you go back to? So if you could slap a like on the video, I'd really appreciate it. McCord Movies. Please subscribe to the channel. Much appreciated if you can do that. And until the next video, take care, and we'll talk soon.